Hello, Logan. Welcome back to another firearms review. And got something I don't think a lot of you have seen or have heard about. And if you have, whatever. And if you think about getting one, I'll let you know. So, without further ado, this is the Mossberg MVP Patrol. So, Mossberg MVP Patrol. What do you need to know about it? It is chambered in 7.62 by 51 or 308. It takes AR-10 or M14 style magazines, super helpful. This one has the 16.25 inch barrel on it. Weighs about 7.5 pounds, and it has a synthetic stock with actually a really nice rubber butt pad. Now this one does not come with a scope. The scope I just had lying around and decided to throw on it. A lot of these scopes normally sit a little bit lower, but for me and my eye relief, I like it a little bit higher. Not really doing the scope today. Don't want to take it off because I just sighted this thing in, which took me way too much time to sight this thing in. Yeah, so we'll prove it's safe. No magazine in, no rounds in the magazine, bolts all the way back, and there is nothing in the chamber. As you can see, nothing. So this does not obviously come with a bipod. I put this on for myself. I picked this up on Amazon for like $20–30. Super cheap, works well. Comes a little bit loose after a couple rounds, but it works good. It fits the piece. It makes it look right. So out of the box, what do you get? You get a AR-10 style magazine. This one's pinned to 5. You get the rifle. You get a lock, and you get the owner's manual. That's it. Pretty much, that is it. These things retail up here in Canada around $800. So there's that. It does have a fiber optic front sight and a little dovetail right here, and the Picatinny rail for mounting whatever you want on it. So this is a Mossberg. This is my second Mossberg I own. This is my first bolt-action rifle that isn't military surplus. My 22. This is my first proper bolt-action rifle, and my first 308. Let me tell you, it does not disappoint. This thing is absolute joy to shoot because of the short barrel. Shooting that 308, you get pretty good flash on the end of it, even with the A2 style flash hider. This thing's overall really joy to shoot. It looks nice. It has that really nice bolt on it. Looks nice, performs well, and yeah, I did get the chance to go and shoot this. I put about 100 rounds through it, just sighting it in alone, and wasn't really me. Wasn't really the rifle. It was a scope. When I put on the scope, scope was sighted in for another rifle, and it was completely out of whack. It took me a long time just to get this thing zeroed at 100 meters. So there's that. It definitely did take some time. Now speaking about that, how did it do? I got some of my targets. So this is the first one. This one was at 100 meters. I'm pretty much hitting center the entire time with very little adjustments done on it. These were first couple ones just trying to sight it in at 100, but yeah, it was pretty on it. And it's not like I was shooting anything fancy. I was just shooting some of that cheap Barnell steel case 308 ammo, and it pretty much put it on every chance I got. Even with the shorter end barrel, it definitely did well. kick on it isn't that bad. This is a really, really squishy rubber butt pad, so it really dampened it. I think this butt pad is more squishy than the Mossberg Maverick 88 that I have, so that's nice. The stock, it's a pretty nice stock. It has grip texture up on the front here, a little bit of grip on the grip. It's nice. It's lightweight. It feels very plasticky and rubbery though. I prefer wood stocks, but this is all I had at the time. Now, these things do come in different barrel sizes. This is a 16 1/4. You can get them in 18, and I don't know about, don't quote me on it, but I think you get them in 20 inch. I would like to have got the 18, but the 16 works well because it's nice. It's a short overall rifle, really nice little package, and yeah. So the bolt handle is nice and big. It's a little bit oversized, but it makes it really easy for you to figure out where it is and to open it. Now, it's really stiff right here. Like, you gotta put a lot of pressure on it until you hear the pop. After that, super smooth. Yeah, take the bolt off. I take the bolt out, there's a little button here. I don't know what other rifles have it, but this is my first one like this. And slides out super easy. Put it back in, same way, goes all the way in. There's a safety right here. Safe, fire, so pretty standard. It's in a good spot. I mean, it works. It's in a good area. Trigger's pretty nice. It's not the softest trigger I've felt, but it definitely does well for this firearm. Now, on the front here, there's a really nice little Mossberg logo. You probably can't see it, but a little M. Little details like that. And yeah, problems I've had with it. So after probably I had 40 rounds through it, and I had some reason it ejected, but when it picked up the new casing and it locked, it didn't lock all the way, so when the hammer fired, it didn't actually touch the primer. And it was sitting in such a way that I couldn't lock the bolt. Only way to fix that was to ram it home as hard as I could. And it worked. Went off, no issue, shot perfectly fine. And that was the only real issue I had. Now, I did have issues with the magazines. I did have some issues with them coming a little loose, not being able to feed. I don't know if that's, I think it's probably the magazines. I'm hoping it's just the magazines, but it's probably the rifle just getting jarred around, as this is a pretty loose fit there. It kind of wobbles a little bit, but it's hard with these magazine fed bolt action rifles like that. Sometimes it happens. Now, why would you want to buy one of these? So let's just say you're in Canada or wherever, and you have a whole bunch of AR-10 magazines lying around for I don't know what reason, or some M14 style magazines lying around for also I don't know what reason, and you don't know what to do with them, and you're looking for something to replace your probably X-hunting rifle or X-target rifle, and you don't want to go and buy one of those conversion kits that they have with the bolt, because then you don't want to take it to a gunsmith and that whole thing, or do it yourself and worry something happens. This is definitely a really good option. Now, they do make these in 5.56, and I know you can get the Rugers that take the AR-15 style magazines. But if you're wanting something with a little more kick, something you can take hunting, this is definitely something I suggest looking into. Now, I shot the Barnell through it. I also shot some Winchester white box through it, and the white box shot a little bit higher than the Barnell. I didn't fix my scope or anything on that. It was just something to look into and to think about when I do take this. I got this for hunting, as my main backup hunting rifle to my 30-30, or if I want to shoot something bigger, I'll take this guy. Yeah, overall, it's nice. It's fun. It's lightweight. It's easy to use. Super. It's overall really nice. Definitely think you should at least check them out or do some more research into them before buying them. There is sling mount points that are metal on the butt and right here. They're metal, so they're not plastic, which I know Savage rifles have. And it's built very tough on the inside. It's a Mossberg you got to think about. So we'll see how it holds up in the future. Overall, this is the Mossberg MVP Patrol, and it's definitely a nice little 308 hunting rifle or target rifle, whatever you decide to use it for. Works really nicely. It's smooth. The bolt, like I said, is a little stiff right there. Once it gets past that, it's really smooth. It is a little heavy compared to some, even having the shorter end barrel, but it does make it a little bit nicer, and I could definitely see this as a good deer rifle or just a target rifle at the range. It shoots 100 meters, no problem. It can shoot 100 meters, no problem, any day of the week. And it can hit it once you get a good scope for it. And this is some cheap scope that I don't really, no name, that came off another rifle. But this thing can definitely hold its own, and it's holding up well. It didn't get any damage from shooting it. It didn't get any scratch marks. Didn't get any excessive bluing anywhere. It's a good one. And this Picatinny rail is removable if you decide to, if you have a scope mount for it. But yeah, it takes pretty much anything. It works well. And the added benefit you got to think about is these AR-10 style magazines or your M14 style magazines. Slide in, no problem. If I can get the right spot. Slide in, no problem. Then you don't have to worry about all that extra money laying around in magazines, which you can't do with if you have something that has that. Yeah, that's the Mossberg Maverick 88. It's kind of a nice little cool looking bolt action rifle. When I went to the range, I had a lot of questions about it. A lot of people thought it was a semi-automatic, which I don't know how you think that, but to each their own. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next.